Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to Inclusive Leadership Program Orientation. My name is Nate Nguyen. I use he, him pronouns. I am the coordinator for Diversity Initiatives and Resource Center. And with us today, we also have Dr. Sophie Leon. She is the Director of Diversity Initiatives and Resource Centers. Sophie, did you have any welcoming or words you would like to share with the group?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Nate. Yeah, happy to be here with you all. Just wanted to say hello to everyone, introduce myself. So as Nate said, I'm Sophie, she, her pronouns. I go by Sophie, Dr. Leon. Any is okay. I just wanted to commend you all for participating in this program. I wanted to share my excitement about this program. This is the first time that we are doing something like this in Dirk. And we've really seen the need and the request from students to put something like this on. It's so amazing to see so many of you who are interested in learning about what it means to be inclusive, to act in with the principles of equity and social justice. And I think it's going to be a really exciting opportunity for you all to learn and to take what you learn into your classrooms, into your classes, into your group projects, and into your life after you're a student. I do want to share just a little anecdote. So, kind of just coincidentally, just before this, I was giving a talk at a Zoom talk, obviously, at another institution at Florida International University in their biology department. They were interested in that department in talking about what it means to have more than just a diverse campus, right? They have a demographic campus with demographics really similar to Cal State Fullerton, but they were recognizing that, well, just because we have diversity doesn't necessarily mean that we have inclusion or that we create a sense of belonging. And so we talked about that. And so I see a connection between that work and that desire, and to the proactive work that you all are doing right now to really be part of that solution. So it's really exciting to me knowing that you all, when you go out into the world, you're going to have some of these skills already. And that's really exciting. So thank you for joining us in this work. And yeah, thank you, Nate, for putting this all together. So happy to have it.
Yeah. I do have another graduate student by the name of Jimmy Nguyen, and he's not available today. He doesn't work on Monday, but he'll be joining us on Wednesdays and Fridays when we have our workshop. So Jimmy, like I mentioned in the email, will be reaching out to you if you have questions and answering some of your questions as well. So the Inclusive Leadership Program includes myself and Jimmy, and then we're also partnering with Student Life and Leadership Program in Student Leadership Initiative. Did I say that right?
Institute?
SLI, Student Leadership Institute. I apologize. We have so many acronyms. And so part of the requirement for this program is that you will have to do a workshop with Student Leadership Institute. So keep that in mind as well. And then we're also collaborating with our LGBTQ Resource Center and our Titan Dreamers Resource Centers, which serve our undocumented students on campus. And so they'll be doing allyship training for you all as well. So with that, let's jump into the program and get a bit more information about it. So the program, ILP, focuses on diversity, equity, and inclusion as foundations for leadership. Students will learn new leadership competencies that will enhance their understanding and working with diverse communities, advocating for others, leading with care, and understanding of self. So those different components are really what I want to stress in this program, is that you will have time and opportunities to really understand yourself, your social identities, as well as your identity as a leader. And then looking at ways to understand others. So so that's where the allyship training comes in, right? And then also the leadership training that comes through our Student Leadership Institute. And then bringing all that together, we'll look at ways, how do you lead with care, compassion, and kindness, and how do you uplift others? So that's the essence, the goal of the Inclusive Leadership Program. Our more specific learning outcomes then is for you to reflect on your identities and how identities shape leadership practice. You will learn leadership skills that are grounded in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you will engage in learning community and connect in a learning space. So that's why we have our Canvas course for you to connect to one another and be engaged in the communities where you can discuss the things that you learn, talk about how you're applying it to your everyday leadership practice. Okay. And so since you are joining me for this orientation, my assumption that all of you are trying to participate in the certificate pathway. So if you have friends who just want to learn more about this program, they can also just drop in. And so based on the flyer that's been shared, they can just click on the Zoom link and they can join any of the workshop that I provide. But they don't have to participate in the Canvas course and do all the requirements. But for you in order to be certified as an inclusive leader, you have to, one, attend this orientations or watch this orientation later as it will be posted on Canvas. Two, may I ask you to mute your mic, please? All right. Thank you. So step 2 is to complete a pre and post ILP reflection. So I'll go over Canvas later, but you'll see that there's a section for pre-reflection and then there's a reflection for post-reflection. So post is when at the end of the program, I will want you to reflect on this program again and see where you've grown. And then pre-reflections to see where you are now and what your learning needs are. And so I ask that you all try to complete that by Wednesday, the 14th, and you could just type it out on your own and then paste it onto the Canvas discussions. You will complete 3 DIRC workshops, 1 allyship training, 1 Student Leadership Institute workshop. And for any workshop that you attend, there's a discussion board reflection that I want you to engage in. So you're not limited to just 3 workshops. You can attend more than 3 workshops if you want, and that's perfectly fine, but you would need to complete at least 3 workshops in order to be certified. Okay. And then, so some of you have probably attended some of my workshops before. So the workshop that I am doing for ILP, they are modified to focus on leadership practice. But if you attended a workshop such as intercultural communications before, then I would encourage you to attend a different workshop that you have not attended. So that way you are exposed to a greater range of workshops and learning experiences. So for DIRC workshops, all of our workshops are on Wednesdays and Fridays. So Wednesday from 2 to 3 and Friday from 1 to 2. So each workshops are offered twice. So if Wednesday doesn't work for you, I'm hoping that Friday will. The only date that we are changing is Tuesday, November 10th, because November 11th is on a Wednesday and that's Veterans Day. So campus is closed. Otherwise, all of our workshops will be Wednesday, Fridays. So we have Who Am I? Exploration of Self-Identity. So this one you will focus on your different social identities and look at how it's connected to leadership practice and how you understand yourself as a leader. Intercultural communications will look at cultural values and look at how it impacts interpersonal communication, as well as conflict resolution, which is an important element of leadership practice. Culture Matters, Values versus Artifacts, look at the way we approach cultures and differences and how do we show appreciation for culture. Leading Difficult Conversation allowed us to look at ways in which we can lead conversations and invite other people into conversation. That's challenging, especially when we talk about identities, when we talk about politics. And so this is a way for us to bolster some of those skill sets to either help ourselves understand the challenges that prevent us from engaging in difficult conversations, or skills that will help invite other people into having conversations with us. Okay. And then finally, we have Identity, Privilege, and Leadership. So this one looks at, again, at your identities and then the privileges that are connected to them, and then applying them to leadership competencies. And how do you apply certain competencies to certain organizations, to ways that you are leading to make sure that you're uplifting and caring and including others. Okay. So those are our 5 DIRC workshops. So you just need to attend 3 out of those 5. Allyship training, we have To Infinity and Beyond Allyship. So that's on Wednesday and Fridays also. So this one is very general. It looks at different forms of allyship. It looks at, for example, performative allyship, academic allyship, accomplices, and looking at how each of those forms of allyship also has pros and cons, and how do we do better to the people that we say we're allies to. And so you look at skills and you look at competencies that allows you to say, this is how we can be a better ally and how we can uplift others. And then the Titan Dreamers Resource Centers offer Undocu Ally training. So they will do that for us on November 2nd, which is a Monday. And then the QRC will offer LGBTQ ally and safe space training to us on the 9th, which is also on Monday. Okay. So you need to attend at least one of those allyship training for certification. And then Student Leadership Institute. So on Canvas, there's a link for you to see all of the different Student Leadership Institute. They have a lot. So all their programs are listed on Tightened Link. So you just need to attend at least one before November 20th. So you can find one that is of interest to you, that meets your leadership skills that you want to grow in, and one that meets the time that works best for you. Just keep in mind that peer facilitated meetings do not count for your certification. You can attend those, but they will not count. So once you get onto their Tightened Link page, you'll see a lot of different ones. Right? So for some of the examples I have here, there's Doing Good Well, there's Emerging Leaders, there's the SLI Financial Literacy Series. So you can look at identity theft education. There's Amplifying Your Voice, talk about voting, and then there's more of the Emerging Leaders program. So the example here, peer facilitated meeting, that will not count, okay? The one in the top right corner. So those are the requirements, okay? And then of course, whatever workshop you attend, you will see on Canvas that there is a discussion board. And I would encourage you to post your reflection, but also to interact with one another. Not to post something and call it done, but if when occasionally check back to see people are responding to your post, and give feedback to people as well. Okay, I want you to have a dialogue. Right? It's not just reflecting and posting it. We are trying to build a community, and so you can learn a lot from one another in addition to going to these workshops. So those discussions forum are really opportunities for you to lead, but to also learn from one another. So any questions so far at this point in terms of the program requirements? Okay. So let me go ahead and take us to the Canvas course so that I can share with you the navigations to help you understand what you need to do there. Let me switch to student view. Okay. So when you get onto the Canvas course, this is what you see. Inclusive Leadership Program. It has the welcome message, and it has a Zoom link and modules. So the Zoom link will be the same link that we use for all of our workshops, and the modules is where you will find the different requirements and the different workshop dates. Let's click on module. So there's a section under welcome. So it says, please read this first. So that again just has our program requirements. So I'll ask you to read that and do a learning outcome quiz to make sure that you understand the learning outcome for this program, and you understand what is it that you are getting yourself into. Okay. So right now and then you see Inclusive Leadership Program orientation. And so I'll post the recorded ILP orientations here after. And you also see the pre-reflection. So that's an assignment that you can click on, and you can see the prompt, and you can work on that and submit it there. And so folks will ask me, how long does it have to be? It's all really up to you. I want you to be as detailed as you think is necessary. Really, it's a reflection for yourself. So write as much as you think is appropriate. That gives you enough of a reflection based on the prompt. But don't think about like length requirement and word count. Just focus on writing as much as you think is important for you to demonstrate a deep enough reflection. Okay. And then you see the Student Leadership Institute workshop, right? So it has the link. So again, if you click on that link, it will take you to the Student Leadership Institute page. Let me see. It will require you to log in, so make sure you log into Tightened Link. But like I said, this will list all the different activities that they have. And you click more. So this is October, and then it goes all the way into November. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to attend one of these workshops through Student Leadership Institute. Okay. And then there's a reflection. So after you attend one of those workshops, there's a reflection, which is a discussion board. So you can chat with one another too and share your learning, because you will end up going to different workshops. And so the reflections will give you an opportunity to see what where people went and what did they learn from their other workshops. And then I have all the allyship training listed here. Again, we have Into Infinity and Beyond allyship, and Undocu ally training, and LGBTQ and safe space training. So we have a date and a time listed there. So pick one that works best for you. So one student leadership institute and one allyship training. And then workshops, the rest are workshops. So if it's a workshop, it will say, this is a DIRC workshop, attend 3 DIRC workshops for certification. So the first is Who Am I? There are 2 dates. And then we will post some additional resources, and we will post a reflection under Who Am I as well. So you will see a reflection, and then there will be additional resources. So additional resources are for you. They could be like YouTube videos that we found, news articles, or reading articles that we will post on there. They're completely up to you whether you read them or not. I would encourage you to, if you have time, to read them or to watch the videos. They're just additional learning, additional resources for you. Because I realize all of our workshops are only an hour long, and we really don't have enough time to cover everything. So we'll post things on here for you to read and for you to grab when you have time. Right? So this program is partly workshop, but part of it is your own independent learning. So I do encourage you to make sure you utilize some of the resources that are posted and some of the reflections pieces that are a component of this program. And then you see intercultural communications, culture matters, values versus artifacts, leading difficult conversations, identity, privilege, and leadership. That's our last workshop. Right? So at the end of the program, back at the top, you will see a post reflection listed up here. Okay. So it should be pretty straightforward. Some of the assignment will mention grade. There is no grade for this course. It's just whether you complete it or not. Right? So if you complete it, you'll get like a satisfactory grade. And if you didn't complete it, something, you will get a non-satisfactory for that requirement. So we hope that by the end of November, you will have everything completed. So this is about an 8 weeks course. And then we will have this inclusive leadership program again in the spring. So if you have friends or people who are interested in joining, but they aren't able to join in the fall, we will offer this again in the spring. Okay. So let me stop share. So any questions about the Canvas course? Okay. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So what is inclusive leadership? Right? This is a term that is relatively new. It's a term that's being thrown around a lot. And so I want to take some time to talk about it so you know what you're getting yourself into. So originally we talked about diversity a lot. Now, our campus is very diverse. All my club and org, my organization is very diverse. So diversity in essence, the definition of it is just a state of being diverse or having variety, right? A range of different things. So when we talk about an organization being diverse, we're just talking about them having a mix, a range of people with differences. So that could mean they have a large range of different ethnics, racial identities. They have different gender and sexual orientation identities, right? So just a variety of things. Just so having diversity in itself is a good thing, right? We do want to have organizations that are diverse, that have differences. But that's not enough, right? Because we know that there are organizations that are diverse, yet at the same time, their members do not feel heard. Their members feel oppressed. Their members do not feel included. So inclusion, on the opposite, focuses on not just being, but it focuses on action, right? Being included within a group or structure. So as leaders, we want you to develop inclusive leadership skills so that you can focus on actions, things that you can do to make sure that your organization is inclusive. But not only that, but people feel included, okay? So inclusive leadership have these following components. It is rooted in action in order to create more inclusive spaces. So it's really about action. It's not just being diverse, it's about taking action. So not just the leaders taking action, but leaders have to also encourage and inspire others in their organizations to also take up actions that create inclusive spaces. So it really focuses on behaviors that affects change. How do you create change within an organization and with leadership practices? So it's very much people oriented. Right? It's focusing on actual leadership skills, but in that skills is focused on people. So that means you will learn how to be a reflective listener, right? How to understand others, because those are important, because you can't really promote change, create a more inclusive environment unless you are understanding where people are coming from, their experiences, what their needs are. And because we want to go in and work with people, we want to make sure that we're not just dictating this is how we would do things. So it's really about listening and understanding others. There's a big component for understanding of self, because leadership starts from within and then it translates to action. So we also want you to spend a lot of time working on identity development, understanding your own identities and how it relates to your leadership practice, how you interact with people. Okay? And understand bias, right? Different cultural biases that we might have, understanding biases that we have when it comes to interacting with different populations. And so that awareness is really important. So that's why we focus so much on reflection. Okay? And there's cultural intelligence, understanding cultures and cultural values and how to work with differences. And so that's another big component. So that's why we have workshops on culture matters, values versus artifacts. Okay? And then the other components are effective collaborations. So this is a little bit more challenging because we're not on campus and it's difficult for me to give you a bit more guidance on effective collaborations, but we'll talk about that too. And I hope that the work that you are doing in this program, you will take and apply to your organizations, and you will encourage other people in your organizations to demonstrate effective collaborations. And finally, you really want to start thinking about how will your work demonstrate social justice and advocacy? How will you help uplift others? How do you promote social justice and how do you care for others? So that's in essence is what inclusive leadership is. So through our different workshops, through allyship training, through the Leadership Institute, and through all the reflection that you will do, I hope that you will be able to accomplish these goals here. Okay. So with that, do you have any questions about the program before I open it up to a conversation, a dialogue? Okay, great. Well, with that, I'll stop recording. Thank you for sitting through this short presentation.